Today I'm being joined by a special friend of mine, Machielle Garza. She's a radio technician, right?
Technology.
A radio technology specialist. She takes your radar. No. She does your X-rays at the hospital.
X-rays and CAT scans. Yesterday we had 9 years together.
Is that married?
No, boyfriend and girlfriend. We're boyfriend and girlfriend for 9 years. Yesterday we celebrated our anniversary, and on September we will have 3 years married. So yeah, almost 2 years.
But total 9, right?
Total 9.
Total 9 years.
And you witnessed it when we started a relationship.
Yes, I saw the nasty. I saw the nasty develop from the beginning. We all saw that, especially Marco's slickness. It's because I don't think we really talked about it in the other episodes, but we were all in cheerleading. We were yellow leaders specifically, and Machielle was part of the cheerleading squad that we were in high school. For obvious reasons, we got in the squad, me and Marcos, of course, right? We were young thugs.
Trying to pick up girls.
Literally, right?
That's true.
Literally. But there was a special eye for Marcos on Machielle, and of course, I mean, what was the first things that he told you? Do you remember?
The way we started talking was I was walking down the hall, and I made the post yesterday that I yawned. So when you yawn, you know how your eyes get teary-eyed? Mm-hmm. So I was all teary, and I was like wiping my tears, and he was like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm fine." And then after that, he already had my number, but we never texted, and that was an excuse to start texting. And then he joined cheerleading, and we just started talking.
Do you think he joined cheerleading as a result?
No, I think he was.
Or was it? Or was it out of sheer dedication? I've always wanted to be a cheerleader. No, it was a completely separate, isolated incident. It was sheer coincidence that he got on the squad. Actually, no. So here's what I'm wondering. I don't know when it became obvious that he was a different age, or I mean, of course, he was jailbait, right?
Yeah.
At that time, right? Were you aware?
Yes.
You just didn't care.
I just didn't care. I like him young.
Well, I mean, to his credit, he does look like an older gentleman, because he does grow much more facial hair than I do. Weird. That's always something I've admired about him. In fact, that's what started our relationship with him, is that stubble, that hairy stubble. No, that's crazy. 9 years together, right? You have. Here's the thing: you didn't know, obviously, or did you know he was younger than you, like off the bat?
I knew I was younger than him because we had a class together. I failed algebra 1 or 2, and I had to take, when he was a freshman, I was a sophomore, and I had to take it again in freshman. And I saw him, and I was like, when I first saw him, I was like, oh, he's cute, but that's it. Like I was.
But like cute in like a puppy way, or
like a puppy
oh
way.
Shit, okay.
No, he's cute, but that's it.
I mean, yeah, right. Puppies grow up too, right? So here's the thing: you went. You said you started yawning, right? And that's when he actually saw you.
Yeah. When we were in the freshman class, I had already given him my number. Because some guys dared him to get my number or something like that, and he got my number. So that's how he already initially had my number to begin with. And then when he saw me yawn, plus he already had my phone number, so that's when he started messaging me, and we hadn't stopped messaging ever since.
How long after that initial encounter did you guys, make it official? I guess in that term, right? In that terminology in high school is what we want to call it.
What time does the school end? Like May? Like it's
I think like May. Like back in the day, it was like either late June or early May. I think it's always been early May, right? May 20. I don't know. Early May, I guess.
So then I think about a month or two, and yeah, we made it official on June 4th, which was yesterday. It's 9 years. So yeah, about a month.
Okay, that's cool. So about a month, you guys start making it official.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, that's blossomed into a magnificent relationship because you have 9 years together, right? Which is a shitload of time. I was telling him last time, it was like it's like a whole baby wink for you guys, right? But that's a shit long time by anyone's account. And that's good. It's something, to be proud of because it's a strong relationship. You guys look like it's always new. It doesn't look like, sí, la vieja, tú sabes. Yeah, like, whatever. But the like, you know, like you see other people kind of like, I mean,
The flame dies off a little bit, or they get used to each other.
Yeah, I mean, we have common friends. We're, again, no names, right? But you can tell when, off the bat, I think we have the same idea of who you can see. You wouldn't believe they're in a relationship off of a first glance between each other, and that's what kind of a lot of people after a while have, right? If there's, I guess, I think the argument is if there's something that's not kind of keeping it interesting, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So regarding that, do you think you have to keep things interesting as far as?
So, yeah.
And in what way?
Don't get comfortable. I think like this whole COVID, we've been isolated. We can't go out. We can't do anything. So like, do a picnic outside, like a dinner. Do something. You know.
You do that, right? You guys.
Yeah, I cook for him a lot. No, but like we do like little stuff like that. Like we try little surprises here and there. Like just a lot of like talking. We talk. It's just like an open communication. Like it's just whatever I'm feeling at the moment. I let him know like right there and then. Like if I sneeze, like babe, this sneeze was just really great. Like oh, it was a good sneeze. I let him know everything.
Yeah. Do you as far as having those moments, I think we do talk about, I don't know if we were talking about this with Marcos last time, but as far as, you know, having a relationship, do you ever get those moments where it feels like there's like a standstill or like I guess a moment of stalling?
I think every relationship goes through that, and I think it's normal that like, you know, work gets in the way. I mean, if you have kids, I mean, the kids could get in the way también, that it just, you do get used to your significant other, but I think if you catch it early, because I think if you wait long, I feel like it does affect your relationship.
When you mean wait long, that means like if you don't do anything about it.
Yeah, like if you, let's just say it's like that for a whole year. Like it's just, you know, just
weird, stale.
Yeah, like hi, how was your day? Good, you know. Okay, pues I'm gonna go outside or stuff.
Have you guys been through that?
Yes.
Now, when I mean, because here's the thing. It's funny because as much as we think, and I think this goes for anyone in anyone's relationship, as much as you think you're in that situation alone as far as in a relationship where it kind of gets dry, it's common. Like, it's more common than you think. Here's the thing. I've been through that where it's, you kind of feel those weird, slow moments where I think you feel the chemistry's kind of gone.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's
normal.
I think what makes a difference is people kind of deciding to kind of ride that wave as far as, okay, I guess like it's going to feel like this, and kind of go into it harder.
Yeah.
Because I get those all the time, dude.
And I think like,
every day.
No, and I think like you need to.
I'm just kidding, Kelly. No, just kidding.
Just kidding.
It's just every so often. I guess every time, every lady day, every lady time of the month. I guess you know, just joking. No, but there's times. That's what I'm saying, right?
And as soon as you as long as you catch it fast and you act upon it, like, you know what, you know, let's go out. Let's go out for the weekend. Like let's just go to the beach. Let's do something.
Something out of the
out of
schedule.
the normal the
pattern.
What's the word? Like
I know the word you're saying. I think out of the routine.
Routine. Yeah.
That's a shot. That's a shit. No. So here's the thing. Marcos was mentioning last time that the number one thing in a relationship, and I'm not gonna finish saying it because I mean you've seen it already. So I mean it's communication, right? Do you think that?
Yes.
How important as a woman? Because one of the things that you messaged to the group chat, all four of us, right? Me, Marcos, you, and Kathy, is your rebuttal against what Marcos didn't say, I guess, about the relationship.
And that's the thing, like, communication is very important, and we actually did get, and like in a discussion, like, I am very, very, very open. And as you can tell on the previous podcast, he's very more reserved. So there's sometimes that I have to, he's, like, if something bothers him, he'll try to, you know, hold it in. Like, yeah, pues it's fine. And I don't like that because when I don't like something, I immediately like let him know, like, you know what, I didn't like this, and this, and he's more reserved. So there's times where I have to figure it out, like, since because he's told me before that, or was that previous discussion is that I rather not talk about it to avoid an argument.
Altercation.
Yeah. And I think every man is like that. Like, I'll keep it to myself. And no, like,
Excuse me. I think that's offensive.
Oh, you're more.
Yeah, I'm more of a lady myself. I find
I think that's good. Like, you.
Well, it's because I told Marcos last time that I was raised with women.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, that does.
So I like to talk about my feelings. Please, let's talk about our emotions. Kathy is fuck. She don't want to talk about shit. That's what's funny about our friendship is that Marcos often relates to Kathy as far as those dos son los hombres, right? Well, it's because it's true. Look, Kathy was raised by men, dude. Like not by men, but she had brothers. So,
right.
like, I was raised with a bunch of women talking about their feelings, looking at 17 magazines, dude. So I was taking pop quizzes at fucking at the age of 10 about which Spice Girl was I the most like. So I'm serious. You know when 17 magazines was the most. Well, okay, that's me there. And here's the thing. It's interesting. I'm not gonna lie. It's fucking really interesting. Once you get to the damn, am I Ginger Spice? I think that's the one. I would always get her.
What's my horoscope? I'm a Leo.
Dude, yes. You know the horoscope.
Yes.
That's what's funny is that I was raised by women, so I would see these dynamics as far as their relative displays of emotion regularly. And that horoscope especially, it's funny because it's on the magazine. On every fucking issue, it'd be like, what does your horoscope say about you and whatnot?
Today, look out because you might meet your crush.
Yeah, and I'd be like, maybe? Do I? I was like 10, I didn't do much. So I was thinking of all the possible scenarios. Church, maybe. Sunday school, you know? But going back to what we were talking about, that whole reserve thing. You like to be open.
Yes.
One thing I wanted to ask. You guys are two individuals. That's one thing I was talking to Marcos about. We're two separate individuals. We both bring same things to the table as far as what you're bringing to the relationship, right? At what point do you decide? Because here's the thing. I don't want to say, I'm sexist. Again, I don't want to bring that up again. I'm not sexist or anything, that thing. But here's the thing. I'm not going to but are we going to ignore the fact that in a relationship, in a healthy relationship, especially a healthy relationship, we're going to ignore the fact that women most likely get their way in that relationship?
If you're a mature woman.
I like that pause. I like that long pause. Like, look, you're kind of right. But.
You're just sexist.
Are you an anti-feminist?
Yeah. Get everything out.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Get this shit off. No, okay, so what were you saying?
No, if a mature woman, if they know, and it's happened to me multiple times. Yes, most of the time, I feel I do get my way. But there's times where, you know what, I'm like, I sí me pasé. Like, it is my fault.
Me pasé, verga.
Sí, me pasé. Like,
But, like, how often is that? Like, on a real scale?
Honestly, de verdad, like, yeah, I think there's times whenever he does speak up, it's because I did do, like... I'm
Babe, you stop hitting me when you get mad. Look, the funny thing is that this happens. The not funny thing is that this happens. But I'm just making, I'm just making it fun of it. Right. Obviously, if you're in an abusive relationship, you need to get help. You need to get help because that's not right.
Yeah, no.
But we kind of have to put a definition on what is abusive. That's why I was asking. I think the other thing me and Marcos was talking about is that how our dynamic goes in the relationship as far as when we have disagreements.
Right.
So at the end of the day, when me and Kathy have an argument, the way we fix it is by avoiding each other. Not because I want to, but because that's kind of convenient for her, and I get less bothered as opposed to how bothered she would be.
Yeah.
So I've I don't want to say I've yielded to her, but I guess accommodated in a way to the relationship because it's not worth trying to get my way over hers.
Yeah.
I don't mind accommodating that. So in your situation, you guys like to talk it out because you like to talk it out.
Of course. When we do get in an argument, we need at least 10 to 20 minutes just to okay. Yeah. And then one of us, and I'm not gonna lie, most of the time it's him. He does come let's fix it, or and we talk for
just men be men, Yeah.
No, and there's times que también it's me, but most of the time I'm not gonna lie.
I guess the one who fucked up, right? Goes back. Look, babe, look, we need to talk it out, okay? I know I sent those texts, but look.
Let's talk about it.
But isn't it funny how the one who's more wanting to talk it out is usually the one who kind of like is at the end of the stick?
That messed up.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's funny.
Pretty much.
I mean, what are you gonna do? But here's what I guess we were kind of talking about at the end of the day with Marcos was, as far as your role in that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel is important? Because I asked him exactly this, and he didn't want to answer. Okay, I'm just
Okay.
joking. No, he did answer.
I'll answer it.
No, we were talking about I think it was it the same was it the same episode that we were talking about where he didn't really want to comment too much because of like I was kind of getting deep into women's stuff, cleavage and whatnot.
Okay.
Was it that right? He didn't want to like comment too much on it, right?
Pretty.
Okay, so as far as your role in your relationship, I worded it to him, I hope the best way I can, because it's a little bit confusing. Not in a sexist way, not where as a man, I'm doing this, as a woman, I'm doing this,
Right.
but in a sheer, I guess, trying to figure out what parts equally both people are supposed to bring to that table. What are you both supposed to bring to that relationship equally?
Like household.
No. Just like generally speaking, like as one individual, you, right? Not woman, right? You're like, let's pretend like not woman and not man. Just two individuals trying to make a relationship work. I guess in a general sense, any relationship you kind of support, whether it be professional, intimate, or any other, endeavors you kind of have. But as a relationship, we can kind of all agree your relationship with your coworker, not a guy, right? A female, like just to put it like there's a certain level of equal contribution that you both need to bring.
Yes.
Which is you can't be too much of an asshole, right?
Yeah.
You can't openly speak your mind about everything, things like that. As far as a relationship, intimate relationship goes, what do you think is something that each person needs to bring? That both of them, not just
All
one.
right, you answer and like so I can get an example.
Okay,
like,
okay.
You give me your example.
So in my opinion, and this is again my opinion.
Yeah.
Again, both people need to be coming with that understanding that it's a relationship between people that want to be together, not forced to be together. Right? It's not a relationship that is there for other reasons. At the end of the day, you both have your freedoms to kind of go away and do your own personal life. But you both are there with your own freedom, right?
Yes.
That being said, each one has to come with that respect of the other person's individualism.
Yeah.
Because it's almost, I guess, irrational, or I guess the other word is it's not something that people can reasonably expect of the other person to kind of ignore their personal interests or virtues. You know what I mean? So as far as that goes, I'm like basically whatever I'm saying applies to both parties, not just to one. Like, okay, the man needs to bring the food, the woman needs to bring the laundry type of shit. Like I'm talking about both need to do this, both need to do that, both need to do this because both have these same responsibilities.
Yeah. No, I don't know how to answer this one.
No, like, okay, first off, as a person, basic thing, you already answered it, I think, is communication, right?
Yes.
We both need to bring communication, right?
And how he said communication, trust, and what was the other one?
It was communication, it was
And
trust, and
respect.
respect. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
respect. So, I mean, those two things, it's not like, well, the woman needs to do that. The woman needs to bring communication. The man doesn't so much, right? Because that wouldn't work. Both need to. Trust, it's not just on the man's side.
And when you love, and at the end of the day, it's about, when you're in a relationship, it's all about love. It should come naturally in those.
Should it, though? Because here's my issue with love.
Okay.
Here's my issue with love, okay?
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's a lie.
It's not real. It's all just notebook shit. No. No. Look, love, like, I'm not going to ignore the fact of what love is. Like, can you first off define what love is so we can understand that we're both on that same page?
Oh, man.
Like, it's just a definition,
Love
I guess, on
is
Webster's.
just, I mean,
Love is a floating butterfly in your stomach. Love is the morning 6 a.m. coffee. No, dude, not like I'm talking about like some just like I guess look, let me look it up real quick because the last thing I want to do is, of course, we like I like to say to other people, like, there's how many people are on this earth? Like 6 billion,
around there, yeah.
right? There's 6 billion definitions of love. That's
No, it's because
But it's true, right?
Yeah, it's true. There's not one.
Form of kind of, because love is like different.
Yeah.
But I
for
think
everybody.
exactly, and I am on that same page with you. But I want to kind of make a point, right? So, formally speaking, the definition of love, not just what we feel or what should be correct, is an intense feeling of deep affection.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
An intense feeling of deep affection. Now, when you compare that to, I guess, infatuation
Or lust.
or lust, right? If we kind of look up that word, is what I'm trying to kind of give off, because we want to say, right, if you really love someone, you'll let them go and shit like that, right?
I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, that's my point. Like I
You're
do
not going
love
nowhere.
her exactly, but I want her to be mine. Like what does that then turn into? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And what is then the real definition of love? I think I've told you guys before that as soon as I had my first kid, I thought I knew what love was until I realized, okay, now this is love.
Yeah.
Love, you know how they say love does not expect. Love
Yeah.
isn't something that is expecting something back. It's not something that's kind of hoping
So
for.
the love that you have for Kathy is different for your child.
Oh,
right?
vastly. And I'll tell you, because me and Kathy got it going on in the bed, type of lust. Lust, love. Lust, love, Wild 7.
Oh my God.
Wild 107.9. No, but that's my point, is that, like, here's the thing. There's a certain point. It's weird because I love Kathy. I do. I love her.
Yeah.
But over the time, I've kind of understood that if she wants to leave, because there's been a lot of, like, there's, like, you guys have, like,
Discussion.
not discussion, arguments where it
Yeah.
kind of leads to, like, oh shit, we're
Yeah.
leaving, or shit. Like, there's been times where she leaves, and obviously breakups, right? Mini breakups. And it kind of feels bad, right? It feels
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck, he's gone. Fuck, she's
Right.
gone, right? After a while, I've kind of accepted that, right? I've like, you know what? If she leaves, she leaves. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
It's her. It's
Yeah.
her
You can't
decision.
hold her like.
Exactly.
No, you're not going.
I'm
anywhere.
no one
Yeah.
to decide that. But I love her in a sense that I care about her.
Right.
Because she's my
She's my boo.
Start crying now. We might cry. We're girls here, guys.
Girl talk.
Girl talk. Oh my god. But it's funny. Look, okay, here's the thing. So when Kathy when I think about Kathy and the fact that I love her, again, it's not because I'm trying to expect something from her.
Right.
I kind of look at her as, she's my kid's mom, and I love her because what she means to Ryan and what Ryan means to her. So it kind of becomes this selfless matter of affection towards her. And then there's all these other feelings involved that when you start going into that jealousy factor, where you don't want her to dress a certain way, or because you're jealous, not jealous or concerned of other people are going to look at her or things like that. And I guess that's when it kind of starts going into that infatuation type of mess. Dude, I was infatuated with her in middle school. I think I told you.
And I
that.
think that's cute. Like, that's a cute story.
It's cute until you're like my dad, or like, if imagine your kid in the future is like fucking dying in the lawn, like because a girl broke her heart. You'd be like, pinche vato. You're not gonna be like, oh, cute. He's gonna kill himself.
That's true love.
That's true love. No lust. No obsession. Not a hint of obsession.
Goals.
Right? No, that's my point. So when I think of my kids, I look at them and I don't expect anything from them. I just want the best for them because I just love them.
It's a fatherly love.
But that's what I mean. It's like, how do you start kind of defining those different loves? Like, it's fatherly love, it's brotherly love, it's grandpa love, it's uncle love, it's aunt love.
I think there is different types of loves. Like,
I think love is love. That's what I think.
yeah, I agree.
Because different types of love, I think, is when you start involving love with infatuation and lust. I think that's when it starts going a little messy.
Or you can have all three.
That's my point, right?
Yeah.
But when I'm trying, what I'm trying to say is that if you want to say you love someone, it's not like going back to what you said. Like, it should come naturally, if it's, I guess, right.
Yeah, I
Right?
and I stand by that. I think if it should come naturally that you have that respect for that person, you have that communication, and you respect. I say respect, and you trust that person. If there's no trust, I feel like it's just a foundation. Like, trust, I feel it's a really big foundation.
No, I get you. As far as your early relationship with Marcos, obviously it's not what it is now, right?
No.
Like, right, different.
No, yeah, it's a more
Mature.
love.
That's one thing to
It was
say.
puppy love, and then it grew to like.
Because you guys are like young, not teenagers, right? But young love, right?
Yeah.
But that's my point. If you could say something to Michelle, like let's say, like even say 4 years ago, Michelle, which is relatively what, 22, right? 22, 21?
Around there, yeah.
Drinking age,
Yeah.
legal and shit, right? What would you tell Michelle at 21 if you could like kind of like open up a window or even a phone call with her? What would you tell her as far as what she's expecting in that relationship?
Honestly, as soon as I got married, and it sounds cliche and everything, but I always tell Marcos that's when my life started, honestly, because my parents were very strict. I could never go out. I had a curfew at the age until 22, which was the year that I got married, and so if I were to tell myself 4 years ago, like, hey, it's gonna be awesome, like. You make marriage, like, you make it fun or horrible, you can make it. And I'm speaking for both persons. Like, if one person doesn't try, it's gonna be hard. So they really both have to try and make it, and that's like make it work. So I feel like, oh, I lost my train of thought.
Fuck. Sorry. Cut to action. Break. Okay, so like we were saying, both people in the relationship need to come equally trying to make it,
I
right?
just had to pervert it. I need to come equally. Sorry. Start again.
She said it, not me. Okay, but like that's what you were trying to say, right? Is that both people need to come together. Okay, well, let me try to say this right. Both people need to approach the relationship with that same amount of commitment. In other words, right?
Yes.
You both need to want to be in the relationship. Otherwise,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because if one only approaches the relationship like they want to, while the other one's kind of not really caring about the relationship, so it's an equal amount of energy that both people need to approach the relationship with, right?
Definitely, yeah.
And that's your whole point, that it's not something where you're trying to take the majority of the power or trying to basically control how the outcome of that relationship
That's
is yourself.
exhausting. Imagine like carrying the relationship while the other person is
And
just
some people
like,
do it.
Yeah.
Some people do it. I've seen
and
that.
that's horrible. That's no way to live.
It's not. Do you blame them though? Like, as far as, is that unhealthy? As far as, is it? I think it's up to them too, right?
Yes, it is up to them. Yeah. I mean, a person can only take so much, and if that person can still continue, if they still love that person, then go for it.
I guess there's those specific people who are carrying the relationship 95% of the time.
Yeah, they just care too much.
But here's the thing. Let's say Marcos did that, right? He put 95%. Not even because you're letting him, because he wants to put 95%. Isn't that, in a way, his fault too?
No, because you can't help it. Like, if you feel like you want to put that effort, then, I mean, all power to you, right? But I feel like, I don't know, like, it's selfish of you to like.
I feel like it's both people's faults. Even if someone is in like a mildly abusive relationship, let's say, right? I think if someone does take in like 95% of that time, let's say that one person who's doing 90% of the work's relationship and doing the posting and like on Facebook, I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like kind of excited about the relationship while the other one isn't there. It's not necessarily, I think it's only the other person's fault or her fault, right? I think it kind of happens to both, because here's the thing. It kind of takes, like I said, like I like to say, it takes two people to tango, right? It takes two people to kind of be in that relationship, and both people, regardless of how much they actually contribute in the relationship or not, they're defining it itself. Okay. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that since both people are participating in that relationship, I guess if someone kind of gives 90% or more into that relationship, the other person kind of adapts to that.
Yes.
Is what I'm trying to say. And I'll tell you the truth. There was a certain time in my relationship where I was giving a little bit more than half. And I kind of realized that myself is that I don't need to be giving that relationship more than what I am only responsible for. After I realized that, I kind of stopped giving more than 50% and just did my part exactly what was required. And slowly but surely, it kind of adapted itself. I guess it got an equilibrium is what I'm trying to say. So what I'm trying to say is that I guess it's both people's faults. I mean...
Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, whatever... I agree.
I agree.
That, I mean, whatever works for them, whatever, you know, gets the relationship. If you're both happy... Like, for me, an example, for me, I'm the one that's more emotionally... And I don't think it's a girl thing because there's girls que también they're not that emotional.
Yeah.
Pues you said like Kathy's not.
No, don't feel free. You can offend me all you want. That's fine. you can say no. Like here's the thing. I know the characteristics you're describing are more inclined towards the female side.
Yeah.
So by all means, I understand. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, like girls are more towards Marcos. I'm more. I feel like I put a little bit more in the relationship when it comes to emotions. I'm like, I love you, and you look so handsome today, and blah blah blah. Sometimes he lacks that.
You heard it here.
You heard it here first, folks.
No, I mean, we're men, right? I mean, I understand.
That's the thing. I talk to my coworkers. Like, I do. And I think that's normal también to have friendships. To talk about your relationship, and I do talk about it with my coworkers too.
Like about your personal relationship.
About my like, you know what?
Yeah, that's
this
healthy
though.
I mean,
and I want a boy's or a man's perspective,
a male's perspective,
andale, like,
or even just another person's perspective.
Yes, because like, no, don't you worry. Like, we're all going through the same thing, and it helps me to think like, okay, I'm not crazy. Like, he doesn't love me. It's just that, I mean. It'd be like that sometimes.
It'd be like that. It do be like that. No, I understand you. An external input is always necessary, I think. I mean, I told Marcos all the time, I would tell him, dude, like, this chick does this chick does that. What do you think about this? And he would tell me, no, post this and that. And you get a different person's point of view. It's always nice to have that point of view. Not only because you're venting, right? But you're also getting a different perspective. And to kind of, even to a certain degree, once you explain it, you kind of realize that, well, maybe I'm the crazy one.
Yeah. No, maybe I am a little crazy.
Maybe I am a little, just a little bit. Maybe I'm just a little crazy.
It's cute though.
I'm trying to be cute. TikTok says it's cute. No, I get you.
No, but and not only that, they can.
You ever seen those memes, or I don't know where they always say like those memes? You know those memes where they're telling people how when you realize that you were a little bit crazy. And you kind of like that's his mental, or you know you act dumb like when you realize you were acting a little crazy, but in that context, but that's abusive because that's kind of fucked up.
Tóxica.
It's because that's the thing. It's sometimes it's put in that context where it's kind of cute, right? Oh, it's just we're just being a little cute, crazy sometimes. But if you were a dude and you were acting like that, it'd be borderline aggressive, abusive, machismo type dealing with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can see that. What do you think it's like that?
I don't think that's fair, honestly. Like, that girls can be crazy, but guys, it's like, oh no, you need to leave that relationship. Like, no. There's people que también le dicen like, no, like leave the girl también porque it's not healthy either way. Like,
I think we're in this age already where it's more of an equilibrium, right? Before, right? It used to be a lot more, man up.
Yeah.
And now because of social media, a new age, I guess, enlightenment up to a certain degree with females, feminists, etc. Are you a feminist?
I believe in equal, like...
I am a female. Come on. Well, I am a woman. No. But you're...
No, and equality as in, like... no, I'm not going to say that.
Go ahead.
Like, equal rights. Like, there's a video where a girl is hitting a guy, and I know, like, any type of violence is not okay. And the girl hits the guy, and the guy hits her back. And then the comments, it was like equal rights and lefts, like that. Right?
Oh, right. Okay, I get you.
I'm like, no, like I don't think you should put your hands on a.
Did the chick fall down like immediately?
No, it was just like a slap.
Oh, okay. But did she like knock out?
No, she didn't knock out. Cool. Like, I do believe you should not put your hands on a man, because I do believe like
you're starting shit. You can't.
Yeah, no, and then
type of
like I know us as girls, we are more small. We're like.
Well, like more typically, right? As you compare each other, right?
like una mano from a guy
Well,
is
I mean,
more hard.
yeah,
than a
biologically
girl.
speaking, our backs are just bigger. Like
Yeah,
if you see
oh,
a
yeah.
chick with a big back, you gotta be careful. You know what I mean?
She's got a good right hook.
yeah, or an extra hook in the middle type of deal. But that's what I'm trying to say is that like women are built differently than
Yeah,
men,
no.
and because of that, I mean, see, that's the thing. I understand feminism, you know, equality and rights, but I also understand biology and what different tendencies we have and how differently we're built.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of comes into that perspective. So as far as, you know, relationships and whatnot, you said you had some shit to say. You said you had some perspective as far as what's your view in that relationship and how you need to handle things and stuff like that.
Like you told him what was the roles, I guess, like in a household, and I believe since me and Marcos, we both worked back then. In the days that, you know, the man would be the only one that would work most of the time. Sometimes even girls would work, but it wasn't that common. Back then, I understand that the woman would, you know, do the household chores, and the man would just come. I mean, after a hard day, he wants to come to a peaceful, anybody that works wants to come to a peaceful food ready.
In
and
general,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
because you're already tired and whatnot.
But now it's different. So he held back last time that was the roles of a household and stuff like that. So no, I like, for me, I do like.
What do you mean he held back? What do you like?
Like he didn't want to. He like changed the topic or.
Because you felt he didn't want to say that that's the role you guys have, or
yeah, or I guess he just didn't, or he just le sacó la vuelta and he just didn't talk about it. But I guess for me in our household, since we both worked.
Well, yeah, that's different, right? Like,
yeah, like I do the.
Why do you think he le sacó la vuelta, or like why do you think he avoided it?
To avoid
But why?
confrontation or for me or something.
Oh.
He thought I was gonna get mad. I don't get mad
Because he would be like the breadwinner or stuff like that, like the primary breadwinner.
Yeah, he's a primary.
No, I'm not asking like whether or not he is. I'm saying, was that something that you felt he thought you were going to be offended by?
No, I don't know. He just me sacó la vuelta. I don't know why.
And how do you think that really? I mean, the way I look at you guys that both are, you know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I told him last time is that I don't know all the relationship you guys have because you guys obviously have your own personal life. But as far as what I can tell and what I hear and what the
We tell you guys everything.
well, that too, and also the word on the street. No, I'm just joking. no. Well, my point is that based on what I see is that you both are equal. Like you both contribute.
Yeah.
And you both, you know, I don't know about the cleaning situation, but what I understand is you both contribute to the funds.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to kind of say.
Yeah. How do you do it since you work and Kathy works? Like, how do you do it when it comes to like?
She pays everything. Fuck that. Yeah, she's
Really?
financing this fucking podcast right now, dude. She's working overtime, 40 hours with the coronavirus, please. Time and a half plus hazard pay, please.
Hey, we need that. We still haven't gotten
Plus
it.
stimulus check, please. No, no, I'm just joking. No, the question was, how do I do it since?
Like, how do you guys share
Look,
equality? Like,
I've been blessed by the Lord because thankfully I make a good amount of money, and I'm grateful for the fact that I make money, good money, and I think I told the ex co-host that I drastically make more money than her, but because my line of work, I guess not my line of work, but the line of work that I do, I've told you guys is I'm a photographer, and you can either make. It's weird because like it spans from really like not making enough to a lot of people make a lot of money, and so I'm like, I guess I'm good. I'm just well off to make good amount of money that it's like I'm not struggling or anything like that. But I do make more money than her, and what I try to do is I acknowledge that. So anytime, let's say, like for example, we pay half and half on the rent. That's just a given because we both live here. So it's like, dude, you're gonna fucking pay half of your shit. Like,
is that okay? But is that fair though? Like, since you make more, shouldn't you pay like 70-30?
Not to that effect. Obviously, I'm not ignoring that. So I pay the Wi-Fi, the electricity, the insurance. Yeah, I make up for it. But as far as like the rent perspective, she pays equally as I do.
Okay,
but
no,
I do take care of the other side of the rent.
No, and that makes up for it. Like, yeah, that's
exactly, because I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that whole.
Because that's how we do it. I mean, with us, I know que he,
Sí.
I mean, drastically more than me.
Sí.
So he does pay.
Baller. Yeah.
But no, like he pays the house and then I pay the electricity.
Bro, go
though.
easy on him. What the fuck?
Hey, but again, hey, pues,
Half of the house?
no.
You get half of the house, or do you only live in one roof? Come on. It looks like
he pays the whole
it
house.
looks
and we
like
get- we
you
get
own
in
the
a-
house when I go.
We get in a fight and I just go into like the little lash room.
Go to your room. That's así, Marcos. Go to your room. Where's the bill? Okay, are you gonna pay?
I
it
turn
this
off the
month?
lights while you ain't paying the lights.
No, well, see, I know, right? It's funny how you want to start doing that shit. I mean, look, it's petty when you do that. Have you done that? Have you done that shit where you kind of like call out like, ¿y la luz? ¿Y la luz?
Yeah,
Like-
no, dude. No. He's like, ¿por qué dejas los focos prendidos? And I'm like, ¿quién lo paga? Don't you worry about it, chiquito. Like, I got it.
Bro, I got it this month, baby. In fact, turn on all the lights.
Turn it on.
Yeah, turn it on. Google, turn them on.
But yeah, he's always calling me
Yeah, I
out like,
know,
hey,
I
la
know.
luz. Like the luz. Like, I got it.
Okay, it's petty. I know it is. It is petty. But when it gets to the worst of the worst between me and Kathy, I tell her to hop off the internet.
Change the Wi-Fi password.
Fucking change that shit, man. No, okay, look, I don't
The
do that.
password like bitches ain't shit.
Yeah, I know, bitches ain't shit. You want a password? No, like, okay, look, it's not like every fucking week I do that, okay? I'm saying I've done that maybe once in our entire relationship, and that was recently because we got in this really big altercation, and here's the thing, I kind of base it off of how far she takes it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I whenever we fight afterwards, I kind of look at her Facebook, and I'm there every fucking 3 hours, like, is this bitch unfriend me? Is this bitch unfriend me? Am I blocked?
Dude, you guys unfriend each other because on the group chat you were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys." It's 'cause
Oh, she's not my friend.
She's-
Do you remember that?
Yes, I
Okay, so
remember.
in that particular instance, when we were discussing that on the group chat, just like I think 3 days before we had gotten in a fight, but and that's my point is that I don't like doing that because it's like it's
That's
childish.
funny,
You know what I mean?
but it's-
it is funny. It's
pretty funny.
cute.
It's cute though.
It's just cute though. No, so that's my point is that I don't like to start it because estás bien huevuda. Like if I do it, she'll do it times 3, and I'm afraid of that. Thrice. So like if I unfriend her on Facebook, she'll fucking block me on all social media. So and that's my point. So I go off of her. Like I
Yeah.
base it off of her. She unfriends me on Facebook. I'll unfriend her on Facebook.
But there has to be a mature one in the relationship.
No, I know. Well, in this instance, she changed the Hulu password. I was like, oh shit, and I got mad because I know she knows that I was watching Westworld. She knew I was into that. It was my thing at the moment, and she changed the password on me,
She
dude.
hit right on the spot.
Yeah, she hits where it hurt. I was like, oh, I changed the fucking Wi-Fi password immediately. I was like, you can't even get on anything you want.
What was the fight? Like, what did you guys do?
I don't
It was
remember.
probably
It's just
like-
childish shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, some candle was being thrown or some shit. I don't know. But like, my point is like I know it's funny though, because it like during the moments it's serious. You're like, I'm fucking changing the Wi-Fi password. That's how I'm gonna get her. She's not gonna like it, and it's serious. It's dead serious when it's happening. But a week later, we talk about it and we kind of like make fun of the whole situation. And she's like, yeah, I changed the Hulu password because I know you're watching Westworld. And I was like, yeah, you got me. Well, thanks to you, I got a free trial and I got my own account. So fuck, which I do now. And here's the funny thing is now she canceled hers and now she uses mine.
Oh my god.
So I kind of fucked myself.
Smart. You played yourself.
Now you played yourself. Congratulations. But that's my point is it's funny how that whole dynamic works, and it's just crazy. But going back to that whole thing where you were mentioning how he didn't mention that whole breadwinner thing, he was trying to avoid it. Is there like I know you saw the episode as far as what he was kind of saying, which I thought I would commended him. Look, he's not afraid of saying it because he's prideful. He was kind of avoiding because he didn't want to upset you, and I think that's
he was
flattering.
I feel like he was cautious.
Dude, and anyone, dude, if I was, that's the thing, I commend him because of that specific reason, is because he didn't want to upset his lady, which is nice. Imagine if he didn't give a fuck and he was just like, fuck, let me lay it on the table right now. Like, that would have been like, okay, this guy is
Let's
waiting
cancel
to,
her.
he's been waiting to pop, like, for a while now, and he's just dishing it out. He was
He's
chill.
like, all right, you guys ready?
Yeah, you guys ready? We're gonna talk about some serious thing. Actually, 3 weeks ago, something happened, and I made up my mind. But that's my point. I mean, other than that, is there anything else you wanted to kind of add to what he said regarding the relationships? I know you said that you've had issues before in the past, like every relationship does, right? I know before the actual podcast, we were kind of discussing it with Marcos. Marcos is actually behind the scenes right now, behind the
That's
screen.
why we're always looking over here.
Yeah, that's why we occasionally look to check if he's satisfied with our wording.
Is that okay, baby? Am I okay to say that? Okay.
He's making a face. No, I'm playing a joke. No, so here's the thing. I know before the podcast we started talking about some issue that you guys had initially when we first started kind of getting together as couples. And I noticed that Marcos was a little hesitant about mentioning that.
About what?
You know, that whole Six Flags
Oh my
ordeal.
God.
But here's to that effect.
Yeah.
Everyone goes through shit like that. Every couple on this earth, and if you don't go through that, there's a problem with your relationship. Your man's probably cheating on you. Just saying, check it out. But look into it. But here's the thing. Every couple gets to that point where they think it's almost going to end. And I think that's a blessing because when you get these trials, when you get these tribulations, I think that's the word, these trials and the tribulations, it's about what happens afterwards and how you guys manage that incident.
Dude, when we fight, like the hard fights,
Like hitting, slapping, and no, I'm playing, just joking.
just
Choke
you see
his
that
ass.
video, like, oh, like sometimes I just want to.
You saw that?
No,
Did we say that?
There's a TikTok.
Oh, there is a TikTok. Yeah, there
that
is.
sometimes you just want to, like, every time we have one of those fights, I don't know if it happens to you, but dude, we get like a stronger bond, a stronger relationship after a hardcore
yeah, no,
fight.
when you do, when you go away and
like it makes us stronger. Like it's.
But
I don't know.
that's what I mean is that these types of issues is what kind of makes that relationship grow. Imagine, let's just imagine that since the very beginning, you two never fought.
That's boring.
And not only is it boring, would you learn anything from each
No,
other? Would you
no,
grow
like,
as a relationship?
yeah.
And then let's say 7 years down the line, a real fart.
I spit on the mic.
Sorry. A real fight actually comes out organically. What is going to be the you guys are gonna break up, you guys are gonna split up, which I think honestly is what happens with these older relationships, especially maybe the generation before us. There's a lot of where these people are divorcing. Have you seen that? Like I don't know if it's more than like our generation.
Yeah.
But let's say I know your parents are still together, which is
Yes.
good. It's commendable.
Yes.
But I guess our generation, people of our friends, we have a lot of people who either have their parents split up or are going to split up.
Yes. Why is that? I'm trying to.
I think it's because when they were together, they weren't real. They weren't looking at it as an equal relationship. They never really fought because the woman would always secede or concede to the man or vice versa. And then when a real situation happens, like when it's, you know what, I'm done. There's no talking because that's never been exercised.
Right.
It just equals to, you know what, I'm leaving you.
The woman or the man
Or the
explodes.
man. Yeah.
You know,
I know
like,
my parents are divorced because, and this was my dad. Oddly enough, it was my dad who initiated the divorce, and it was my mom who would always get shit on. In a way, I guess, like she was always the one who was, like, don't get me wrong, they weren't abusive or anything
No,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
she was always the one kind of agreeing to him, like,
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, he split up with her, but that's another conversation, right? But that's what I guess what I'm saying is that older generations or generations before us are we're kind of seeing that trend where they kind of split up.
What I do notice in the older relationships is they don't talk too much. It's
That communication,
yeah.
that's another point, is that communication, the lack of, especially in the older ones.
Yeah, I've noticed. Pues in both, like they just either when they do talk, it gets uncomfortable for them, and it's like
It's
a
weird.
marriage. Like it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to be like already like, pues it's part of it, you know, like communication.
Do you think it's our culture or it's in general?
No, I think it's culture.
Like
I
as
think
far as Mexican
culture, I think there's a lot of pride, and it's like no se hablan de eso. Like no, we're not gonna talk about
Especially
that.
on the man's side.
Yeah,
I've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
And see, my dad isn't like that. That's what's funny again, is that I don't want to get into it, but he's not that type of way. But
No es como machista.
he, well, that's my point, is he is, but he doesn't mind talking about weird shit.
Oh.
But he is, I guess you can come across that he's real machista, but he doesn't look at it that way. It's weird. And I know some people do like to admit that, yeah, yo soy machismo, and yo me gusta machismo.
I feel like me and Marcos, we adopted that belief because it's not like he's how do I explain it? Like I don't find nothing wrong in a like machista.
But like, again, you're talking about financially machista, because I don't even see you guys like, Like
No,
he doesn't
like,
hit you or anything, right?
I feel like he gets home from work and si me dice like, hazme de comer, like not like that, right? But like,
Yeah.
hazme de comer.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like okay, like I'll like I'm submissive because first of all, it's a Mexican culture and it's a
Yeah.
Christian culture,
But
religion as well. Like we're supposed, as the woman, we're supposed to be submissive. But it tampoco, it's not like, oh,
It's
I'm
weird.
like,
Yeah,
oh,
like, yeah. Like, I think we
no.
were talking about that, me and Marcos last time, is that I went to a friend's house and there was this mom kind of serving the food.
Oh,
It was kind of weird because she never sat down and ate.
and I mean those type of examples, like that's how.
That's harsh, right? You don't do that, right? You don't eat until he eats, after he eats, right? Or do you
No,
wait till
no,
he
no,
finishes?
no,
Is
no.
it like that?
No, but if I, like, when was it? Yesterday, it was his little brother's graduation, and the men were sitting down,
Okay.
and I was the only one sitting down, like the girl, and I felt weird.
Yeah, no, especially in that context. Yeah, I understand.
I was like,
that.
and then the girls were in the kitchen. I was like, no, pues I need to go over there.
Sí.
It's like the mentality Mexican, like, oh, I'm supposed to be with a woman, and like, let me serve them.
I understand that.
I was like,
I do, because that's just weird. Well, that's
Yeah.
not. No, again, it's not weird because you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Women, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can.
God,
Yes. This is all opinions. Like, this is nothing.
This is an opinion.
Yeah.
But my point is that when you guys are in that family get together and all the men are talking about just common things that happen with men and their work and their
But it's
lifestyle.
because it's so interesting.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
as
I
a
like to
woman,
hang out
I'm
with
like,
the women, honestly. When
and I
my
like to
mom's,
hang out with the men. Like,
yeah,
it's weird.
because I get together with, when there's family get-togethers, I get more. It's because when the dudes talk together, they talk about just, especially when they're like, older dudes, they just talk about weird like beer and shit.
That's true.
And as far as the women goes, because I was raised with women.
Escuchaste que Lupita,
Yo
like
me
the
meto en el
chisme.
chisme
Oh, the
yo
chisme
también,
is
dude.
good.
The chisme is good.
La vecina no
But again, I
sabe.
think that's with older generations because I've hanged out with my friends, you know, Marcos and our group of dude friends. And it's
Yeah.
interesting because we're all the same age. We're talking about random stupid shit. But I think that's, again, it's a generation
Have you
thing.
noticed it's a generation thing because the older generation, they're the ones. Have you noticed that as soon as you get to a family event, boys, girls.
I think that's funny.
Why does it happen?
Have you seen the quinceañeras, the weddings, the dudes or the tios that get into one corner?
Yes.
I work,
And they're always standing up. Yeah. They're always standing up.
Oíste de Esmeralda. Sí.
But us as like millennials or
but-
younger, we don't do
Yeah,
that.
we
We
don't
all
do that.
like all together.
I've seen the kids follow them, like the middle, like young 20s, they follow them, but just, I guess, out of like the habit of just following, or they're real machismos.
Yeah.
I hate that though. I think that's boring. That's like I don't mean to call anyone out, but that's fucking cringe. If you're going to a party and you go to that corner and like start drinking with dudes, like that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, go enjoy yourself, talk to people.
Yeah.
You know, that's the new age. You're there to hang
to
out.
each their own, right? But
Yes,
yeah,
again,
like,
you do whatever you want, but it's cringe.
but you're wrong.
But you're messed up. No, like, enjoy the party. I think you don't. As a photographer, as a videographer, as a person who's covering the event, anytime some
you've
dudes,
seen it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they get close and they're fucking standing around my gear, and I'm like, damn, I gotta move because these guys are just drinking, and they put their beer bottles on my shit. And I'm like, oh god, no.
Sir, can you please move your?
Yeah, you start
your
like
Corona?
I'll send one of my photographers just go check out, just pretend like you're putting some shit back in the case or something. I don't know, just do something. I don't want them to think it's alone or it's not being watched, and then they get off. But that's something to that effect. But so kind of wrap up this episode, as far as anything else you want to say to kind of your point on, marriage, not marriage per se, but it just relationships in general, your role in that relationship.
Just love each other. Like, try your hardest to like make it work. Don't make it become stale again. Like, and it's normal. It's completely normal. Like you said, it happens to you. For it, like, there's a week, maybe even a month that it's just like
Feeling off.
Yeah, you're feeling off. That's fine.
I like
It's
the way they
normal.
say sometimes. They say, we're not, this isn't us right now, or we're kind of out of.
What's the word? Yeah.
There's a rhythm. I think we're not in the rhythm or some shit.
Yeah, something like that. But no, like, that's fine. Get your break. Because sometimes we do need to be alone with our thoughts.
I think
It's
that's
normal.
true.
That's healthy. I agree with that. But
Not
don't
alone
let it,
fucking around type.
Yeah, well, yeah. No.
'Cause,
No.
Yeah, that's a different type of like priority. I'm saying like
Yeah.
your individualism.
Just as long as get your moment, and then as soon as that you're over it, spice it up again. Like, okay, let's go out. Like I told you, let's go out. Let's do something. Like, make it fun, I guess. Like with Marcos last time saying, like, we're both childish. If we're childish as in, like, if like right now, like, you stuttered, we'll be like, oh, like, you stuttered,
Yeah,
like
like
you're
keeping
so
it.
dumb.
Yeah, that's not stale. Anyway, so I think that's gonna be. Are you good?
I'm good, I'm
okay,
great.
awesome. So that wraps up episode whatever this is. This is a dear friend of mine again, Machielle Garza, radio technician, radiologist. I like to just
Radiologic technology.
Radiology.
That's that.
that one. Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for listening. If you guys haven't already liked our Facebook page or Instagram page, please do so. If you guys are listening through Spotify, thank you. If you guys are watching us through YouTube, drop a comment on what your thoughts are or your opinions as far as what we have to say. If you don't disagree with her, feel free to, say whatever you want. As far as me, please just keep that on the down low. Just kidding. You can talk about whatever you want. But thank you guys for showing the support again. Thank you guys for listening. And until next time, thank you guys for tuning in.